This is Steve Desko from the Land of Oz, and you're watching Fresh Roasted Metal.
Yeah. All right, guys, we are back again. It is Fresh Roasted Metal. Everybody raise the cup. There's my brother Joey Knight. What's going on? And please welcome our very special guest, Mr. Steven Desko from the Land of Oz. What's going on, my brother?
Not much. A rare day off for the Prince of Darkness.
Yes. Yeah, man. We've been trying to get you. Well, I've wanted to interview you for a while. The first I was telling Christine, my first time seeing you guys was at Tally Ho in Leesburg, Virginia. And it was incredible, man. Like, I wasn't expecting what I got.
That was... Honestly, we've been together a total of 4 years at this point, and that was one of the first shows I felt where everything really started clicking and it started going to a different level from being just a bunch of guys to an actual unit. So that was definitely lucky and perceptive of you.
Yeah, man. Dude, it was... I think the thing that got me was that I wasn't expecting all of the other things that you did. I was just going in thinking, okay, he's just going to play all Ozzy. I didn't expect the Black Sabbath stuff as well, which was like it just made it even more killer, dude. I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. This is great.
Got 120 million in sales for the Ozman, and it's almost 50-50. So it's a nice career, and it's a big bag of tricks to draw from. So it's definitely fun to do, you know. I'm in constant battle to get more Black Sabbath in, but we have one of the best Randy Rhoads guys in the country, so we're Rhoads out.
I know. Yeah. So let's talk about that. Let's go through the band members real quick, one by one, because what's his name? The lead guitarist
is Matt Stanley.
Yeah.
He is 19 years old now. You probably saw him when he was 17.
Yeah.
Right.
Incredible.
He's 19 now.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Incredible, man. Where did you find these guys? How did this all come together?
All right. One of the founding members of a band called Get the Let Out, Paul Picari, who actually was the original bass player, and their management team, FKE Entertainment, Frank Help, they somehow got in touch with Mike Stanley, who's a real well-known guitar player in the Philadelphia, Delco area, with a band called Funhouse back in the day, and he went to Berklee School of Music for jazz guitar. He's a beast. He had a kid who was 15, and he learned Diary of a Madman in one day. And then shortly thereafter, they got on the phone with me and just recruited me out of my own band to start this thing with. So it's Paul Picari from Get the Let Out, Mike Stanley, and then Matt Stanley, of course, the kids. We have I always joke around, our number 2 is better than most number 1s. But we have 2 really good. We have a father and son guitar team, which is beautiful. My kids don't want to be seen with me, so it's really good to see that. And then we have Tom Suzuki on the drums, who was in a Who tribute, and all the guys were in the 70s Rewind band, which is pretty nice band. We have Mike Vivial on the keys.
Yeah, very good keyboard player, man.
The Wizard, and that's really between the layers of the guitar players and the keys. That's what makes it. We try to do an album representation.
Yes.
So we do have an extra guitar, but we like to make it sound like the record.
Yeah, that's what I was most impressed with when I saw you guys at that show. Was like, it was really. This is why it was so cool, man. For a lot of shows, because we talk about this from time to time. A lot of the quote tribute bands, you know, you go there thinking one thing and you come out being let down. Okay, this tribute that I saw that night, you guys had the full, even the opening, man, even doing the full opening, everything was just right on keel, man. You know what I mean? And that's the keyboard player of this band. That's what I told one of my friends. He's like one of the unsung heroes of this band, man, because it just brought everything out.
He's icing on the Ozzy cake.
Yes,
there. He's good. The guy really. He's a genius. Like most of the keyboard players are strange guys, and no exception. But I love Mike. He's a good guy. He teaches keyboards to children, so he's a good guy. It's just that Mike's on.
Joey Knight.
Yes, sir.
Any questions for the Ozman?
Yeah, I do have a question for the Ozman here. What was it that you locked into the fact that you could pull Ozzy off?
Good question.
I was in a band called the Black Friday Project, and we would throw in War Pigs. I've done War Pigs almost forever. And then stage lights are kind of bright, and I like John Lennon a little bit, so I started to put on these glasses, and then I kind of looked like him. And then my knees hurt because I was working construction, so I kind of walk like him a little bit. I moved, this is kind of a personal story, but it's kind of funny. I went to get back with my ex-wife, and I moved to Chicago, and it lasted one day. But I did stay there, and for about 5.5 years, it's a really good music town. So while I was there, I played with my drummer ended up buying a bar, and we played 40 weeks in a row and practiced on stage, so I got majorly comfortable as a performer. And then I started something called Masters of Reality, which was Dio, Ozzy, and Sabbath, and developed the act there. Then I moved back to Chicago because it was just time, it's an old story. What do you call a lead singer without a girlfriend? Homeless. So, and I started the Ozman Cometh Here, and then I got the phone call from the Stanleys and the Ficaris, and that was 4 years ago, and it's been fantastic ever since then.
Now, are you guys strictly playing East Coast, or do you do the whole states?
We have a, let's see, March 30th, we're at the Sellersville Theater. That's in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Then on June 9th, we're in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Wow. Okay, cool.
Riverbend Festival, and that's going to be badass. Then we're in New Jersey, Hamilton, New Jersey, on June 23rd. And then to the Jefferson County Fairgrounds in Brookville, PA, on June 30th. And then we're also back at the Riviera Theater up in Buffalo, New York, which is I love the old Art Deco theaters. They're just so cool looking.
Yeah. And
they sound great, and there's usually just really nice people working there. They're kind of volunteers and stuff like that. But we're aiming to branch out and go all over the states.
We need you back at Tally Ho, man. When can you guys get back to Tally Ho?
That is up to my agency, and not to be Hollywood. That's my agent's thing. But I love Tally Ho. That is such a cool little town.
Yeah.
I take a picture with that little bear at that one store every year. And my son's children are down there, so I got grandkids in Manassas, so I'm definitely connected to Virginia.
Very
sure.
Cool.
So it's a nice little area. Not opposed to it, but I don't even run my own band, so I'm a pawn in the chess game of Oz here.
Forget the Tally Ho, dude. You need to come to Houston. Come to Houston, dude.
I am ready. I FKE Entertainment, call up. We will travel. I love the travel. I love the hotels. I did quit drinking 3 years ago, so I like the food, and I haven't quit weed, and my voice feels great. So
hey man.
So you're really embodying the whole Ozzy experience, right?
We call it an experience. Literally, an Ozzy Osbourne experience. People always offering me like cocaine and stuff. Like, they're crazy. It's like, I'm not the real Ozzy. I had a friend tell me he caught a bat in his house, and he shoot it outside, and he goes, "Oh, I should have taken it and put it in my freezer and given it to you." Like, wow. Thanks for thinking of it.
Look, that brings me to another question, man. Now, how long have you been doing the Oz thing total?
I have been doing the Ozzy character for 9 years.
Okay, so almost a decade, man. So,
yes.
Have you? Because I've seen this personally with other bands. Has there been any time where the fans forget that you're not really Ozzy, and then have there been some scary situations?
It's not scary, but it's for promotions. Like, we play a place called Penn's Peak in Jim Thorpe, PA, which is an absolutely beautiful venue.
Yeah, we're 3 hours from there. Yep.
Okay, and we go to that town, and we walk around. I dress like Ozzy, and I can promote directly, and people come up and take pictures, and it's fun. And I have double takes, and I go to Walmart dressed like this sometimes. It's just for the kicks, and I can promote all the time, and it's a ball. It's a great character. People love Ozzy, and it's. Sorry. What about it? Oh yeah. Tell them. I'm sorry. I have my coach here.
Tell us.
Well, now this one girl jumped on stage and actually thought I was the real Ozzy, and people do get. It depends on how much they had to drink and stuff, but yeah, people do get confused, and they, it's flattering, and we do sign. I sign autographs after the show, and they buy our T-shirts and our posters, and I'm signing autographs, and I put Ozman on it, and it's like, okay, thanks. Patronage,
All right, but the big question is, have you ever forgotten that you're not Ozzy?
Oh yeah.
I try to channel it on stage, so I try to be the guy, but does Ozzy really know he's there anymore either?
Good point. Yeah. Good point, man. Good point. That is a damn good point, man. I think one of the coolest things, if for those of you guys that are watching that haven't heard Land of Oz, it was so freaking scary for me, man, because you even have some of his mannerisms down, facial expressions, and when I heard your voice when you came out that night and I heard your voice, I was like, oh my god, this is so creepy, man. And then I got up closer with the person I was there with. We were inching our way to the stage, and we were watching you, man. And I looked at her. I said, "Man, he's even got his facial expressions down." This is like one of the greatest experiences that you can have without being at Ozzy, man. And this is why I'm so big on you guys, man. This is why I want you back so bad, because for the tribute band circuit, I mean, to me, you guys are like at the top of that thing, man. You guys just put on a hell of a show.
Thank you. Yeah, I've seen Ozzy 8 times, and he was even good 4 times, and it's nice. And I'm a huge Ozzy fan. I'm just Ozzy, Deep Purple, Rainbow, Dio fan. I came up with steeped in that music. I like the whole genre. And it's good to do something you enjoy, so you're not up there looking like you smelled a fart while you're playing, But it's a lot of fun, and it's really nice. I do study. My girl Christy dresses me. She's been up in the wardrobe for me, so I like doing different photos. I have about 7 or 8 costume changes during a show. I'll definitely go in and out of different. Try to match the eras. Our PowerPoint, we have napalm going off during War Pigs. You'd like to have an audio visual. I think Paul Picari takes care of that. And if you do want to hear us, we're on Spotify and iTunes with a remake of Goodbye to Romance.
Nice.
Which is an acoustic version, and it's got some really nice strings in it. And it's pretty literal, but it's definitely chill. You can smoke a fat blunt if you're into that, or have a couple wines or whatever.
Right.
But it's a fantastic, representation of that. And then our website, we just redid, thelandofoz.com. That's looking pretty sharp. There's some video on that. Our Facebook's always got some snippets and clips on it. So definitely and we have some fantastic photography. Some of our photography, if it looks really pro, it really is. We have this guy, Dave Lewandowski, who's an award-winning photographer. He does wildlife and National Geographic stuff. And this guy, he makes me look really good. Like, I don't look that good in real life. I'm like, whoa, these pictures are fantastic,
Who's in charge of the stage show? That's one of the things I was wanting to know, too.
The stage show, I would guess.
Like, do you guys sit around and say, okay, this run, the next run we go out, we're going to change it up a little bit. Let's have this set up. Because you guys had it for a small stage like the Tally Ho has. You guys did a great job at making the ambiance of it, man.
We have a lot of experience in the band. I just do my thing. Paul's really good. Our bass player is really good from this experience. We get the let out. And Mike Stanley's a beast. He's got that guitar flipped. He almost knocked me out a couple shows. I felt the wind. So it's a joint decision. We kind of play off each other, try to get the kid forward on the solos, and I'm trying not to get hit in the face with an instrument. So, there's things like that. But yeah, so far so good. No black eyes. Paul did get a bash on his head at the Reading Motorcycle Club. Mike Stanley's kind of a big guy. Daddy, guitar player, and he lifted an amp up and smashed and gave him a goose egg on his head. I have a nice picture, and that was pretty wild. But most of the time, yeah, it's a group effort. It's kind of just natural chemistry, and we've all played in the same circuit, and we've been together long enough where, yeah, it's not something you coach, but we do talk about it. But there's not like a written out, go here, go here,
right.
Yeah, go here.
So. With the tribute band circuit, like I was saying earlier, a lot of the bands that Tally Ho brings are mainly in the tribute band circuit. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
Those colored glasses.
Yeah, there we go. So
right over here.
So with a lot of these tribute bands, like I said, it seems like they're just trying to make a buck off the band, and they don't really put a lot of time and effort into what they're doing. And cover bands, I have friends that play in cover bands or tribute bands, and they get a lot of shit for it. As far, from the real guys that play like their own original music. How important is it to you doing this to give the full experience to the people coming to throw down the money?
I go full tilt at practice. Everyone puts a lot of heart into this, and it's very high end. We enjoy what we're doing, but if you're putting out $20, or $30, or you get VIP and you're putting out, you deserve a great show.
Right.
It's sometimes harder to duplicate other people's stuff. Everyone's listening for every note. Everyone's listening for this guitar thing, to sound in character, sound in tune. I did originals for 15 years. When I got to be about 34 years old, I figured out that, they're signing the 20-year-olds with the six-packs, and I kind of had that going on. So I have lost some weight recently. But it was kind of like, where do you go? And it's sometimes in the original scene, you got like the homeless and the millionaires, and there's really not a lot of middle ground. So if you would like to make money, $80 a guy rather than $80 for the whole band. Mm-hmm. Start doing covers, and then if you, I don't know. I accidentally look like Ozzy. I wasn't born like it, but here I am. But it's good to look like it. But it's more important, music first. Right. Not the rest of my band does not really necessarily look like the guys, but we try to, dress nice. You got to present. If people. It's competitive out there, and you just got to bring it. And people deserve nothing less than 100% out of you. Just for pride. And it is challenging to duplicate the material. The original bands, it's great. But if you're 49, 50 years old doing originals, God bless you, but it's a labor of love at that point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I think, like I said, a lot of the bands, there's a few out there, like I said, that I've witnessed that could actually pull it off. You guys are in the top. To me, you're the top, the ones that I've seen. And then there's just been the ones that are just disasters, man. So to see someone like you guys come out, it's very good for me, because a lot of the young people at the shows, that's why a lot of these bands like you guys, you can pull those young kids in there if they're there with their parents or whatever. And then they go, holy shit, that was good. Let me go listen to the real thing, man, right? Let me go listen to the real record and see what, and then they get into that. That's why I love what a lot of you guys do, because you're giving that next generation the chance to kind of maybe witness a little bit of like what it was back when we were growing up, man. I think it's really cool.
The heyday, yeah. And we embrace the kids. The kids are great. I have two sons. They're 28 and 25 now, but, you know, I have nieces. You know, I enjoy the kids that come up, and we definitely take the time. We have them backstage. We hang out. We take pictures with the kids. I mean, we got kids that make like scrapbooks and send it to us, and it's really nice. The kids are, and you know, at some point, it's the first time you ever heard these songs. And we go a little B-side too. Like, we're not just playing all the hits. We do sneak in some obscurities, and it's really nice to have people messaging when what song was that? The third song, I never heard that before. So it's definitely good to introduce to not only kids but adults who just to hear the Ozzy for Dummies and Sabbath for Dummies, and it's all they hear is the regular radio stuff. It's nice to go deep cut. I mean, we have to play certain songs every show, but it's really nice we like to change our set, especially if we hit a market more than once. You will see completely different set lists, a different approach, because it's going to be like past the ketchup. You got to change that stuff up for people, I believe.
Right. So, also one of the other bands that I want to go off here on for a second, and then we're going to come back to Ozzy. You do Dio as well, right? You do a Dio?
Yes, I do Live Evil, Ultimate Live Evil on. I love Ronnie James Dio and Rainbow, and that's just fantastic. Pardon? It's a bar band, but we do get some different Ardmore Music Hall. We just play. We do play some casino stuff with that. It's a little bit. I enjoy playing Dio. The market is really 40 and over, because when you have to explain who Dio is, it's a little tough to sell to the young market. Like, some guy called it, "Who's Dio?" Like it was T.O. It's tough, but Dio is great. I've seen Dio like a shit ton of times. Rainbow is my favorite band. Richie Blackmore's my favorite guitar player, but I do Ozzy.
Yeah. So with the Dio band, again, man, what's the difference between? Because, I mean, Ozzy and Dio, the vocals are so distinct in two different types of vocals. How is that getting yourself in that space, that headspace for the Dio, other than the Ozzy?
Glasses. I actually did a Dio tribute years ago before I started doing the Ozzy. So Ozzy was like a second on it. It's a completely different delivery. It's a different kind of challenge. Ozzy's got some stranger notes. Dio's more. It's very difficult, but it's more of a predictable approach. Ozzy has some Ozzy notes that I have to contort to get. Like Harry Mason kicks my ass. I mean, there's some songs in Ozzy. It's like, what note is that? But it's just Ozzy. It's just beautiful. It's dirty and nice. It's like I don't know. But the Dio thing. Also, half of my band's in an Electric Lynn Orchestra doing an ELO project. The keyboard, bass player, and drummer do an ELO thing on the side too.
Wow.
So it's important to stay fresh. And we're friends. I'm friends with a lot of cover bands. Hollywood Nights. Matt DiCarlo's a dear friend of mine. Johnny D from the Kicks and Excess band's a good friend of mine. I love to see all the tribute and the experience bands coming up. It's challenging to do, and it's I love my brothers in the industry. It's competitive, but it's apples and oranges. I asked it to be a good apple. You know, they could be a good orange. You know.
I got a question here in reference to performance and everything. So, I myself, I'm a singer, and getting up in age, I'm finding that I'm having to spend more time ahead of the show to just kind of get into my own space, get into my warm up, and really properly warm myself up. And then I see footage of Ronnie James and Eddie Trunk, when Eddie Trunk went backstage to go see Ronnie James, and Ronnie James is sitting there with a glass of wine like 2 minutes before showtime, and he's like, "Man, did you already warm up? Don't you have to warm up?" And he looks at him and goes, "Either you got it or you don't." and he just drinks down the wine and walks on stage. So, is there anything that you do now that was a little different from before?
Well, as an older singer, you know a lot of tricks. You know, I drink certain amount of this Darjeeling Himalayan tea.
Nice.
This citron honey. I like the Ricola mints and Monster Energy drinks, zeros. So it's a mixture of caffeine and throat treatments, and I like to just really, you know, have some like hot tea. I like to relax a lot and try to manage the energy on a show day to give it a nice explosion. Because I don't even have to be really good for an hour or two, but I want to be ridiculous for an hour or two. So It's more about like energy management, warm up. I talk a lot, so I keep it. But I do sing in the car, and I do a lot of review, a lot of immersion into the material, even though I know it. Maybe I'll hear a different inflection. Like there's 2 syllables at the end of Perry Mason, which I didn't really necessarily notice. Sounds like I have a telethon here, hon. Thanks for turning your phone on. Hey, lady, it's Jerry frickin' Lewis here. Can I curse? No.
Yes, you can. Go ahead.
No, I'll play clean. I pretend I'm playing outdoor festival.
The guy's holding the telethon while we're doing this. Can you believe that?
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. I didn't know we were on a telethon. That's cool.
We need support in our old age.
Right?
Black Label, all right.
Yeah. I'm representing.
I'm thinking of covering Stillborn because Ozzy sung on that one.
Dude, that would be a really cool thing to do, man.
It's in my head, and I got to get it through committee.
Yeah.
Hey, now, do you guys just cover a certain era of Ozzy, or do you like also cover like the Jakey and also the Zach stuff?
We love it. We do No More Tears, Perry Mason, Shot in the Dark is fun, although it's got it's one guitar tuned very Jakey-ly strangely for that one.
Yeah.
Bark at the Moon, I think we play probably every show, and I like it. It's a good crowd when I can make them howl.
Oh yeah, and Matt does those. Oh man, the solo for Bark at the Moon and the one he did for Over the Mountain.
Yes,
I mean, dude, I sat there, man, and I'm like, I got up on a higher level so I could watch him. Right. And me and the chick I was there with, I was like, I said, hold on, I gotta watch this. And I'm just watching him go into the solos, and everybody, all the old guys were just looking at everybody and just high-fiving, man, because the dude just hit the solos, man. We're like, oh my God, this is awesome, man.
I see him at rehearsal. I'm like blown away. I look over, I just smile. I point over, it's like, oh my God, look at this kid. It's just phenomenal. I play with a lot of good players, and he's probably the best and most prepared guy in my band every time. The kid's got a great work ethic. Some people look at me and it's like, oh, he looks like Ozzy. It's real easy. We put the work in. We roll up our sleeves. We rehearse still. We don't just lay on the shows and show up. You know, like it's a big deal, and it's an honor to play some of these stages, and you know, to have people come out and get off their couches is a big deal. So
it is a big deal. We were just talking about that. Yeah, we were just talking about that before. It's hard to get people to come out nowadays.
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm saying when you do a show like this, I was happy, man. I mean, I talked about this show for a long time. I was like, God, I need to see these guys again because, again, there's not that much to at least in my area. There's not a lot to choose from as far as these tribute bands.
Right.
With Matt, how has he handled it? Because he seems like a quiet guy. I didn't get to talk to him, but just watch it. He seemed like he'd be a quiet person. How does he handle? Because I know there was a lot. This is what was funny to me. I was watching all the women that night that are my age, right?
They call him Yummy.
Yeah, and they're all these women, man, in their 40s are like transfixed on him, and they're just like, oh, wow, you know. And I'm like, dude, this kid, man, is gonna have a life, man. He's gonna have a life, man.
His girlfriend's very pretty. I gotta say that. Now he does good with that stuff. Sometimes Christy has to corral them. They're 26 years old and they're acting like they're 16. They're losing their breath over it. He's a good-looking kid, you know. For a fella, you know. He's very humble. He's a very, very good kid. He's a college student right now, and he's a good down-to-earth kid. His dad's a scientist, which is awesome. And the kid's smart and he handles it real well. And he's not. He's always been a music out, so he's always just been a good player. And he does play at a high level, but he's very polite. He's very normal. We got enough strange characters in the band. But he's a very good kid. He's very sincere. He's very real. He's definitely. I call him the franchise, but I like when people come up and they say, "Hey, can we just get a picture of you and him? Don't tell the other guys." And it's kind of
the franchise, man.
Yeah, he's the franchise in my phone.
That's awesome, man. So when you guys are out, obviously we all have jobs. Everybody's got jobs. How does this affect? How do you guys keep your jobs while you're out doing this thing? Because I know it's got to be hard with trying to get time off.
It is interesting. Everyone's got a fairly. I drive a truck and I install fences, but I can kind of get off if I give some notice, and we don't have shows at Snap. I deliver meat, sometimes in the back. But that's a great joke. Come on, my cover gonna be down.
Yeah,
they're very good. They're Esposito's Meat, South Philly. They're very good at giving us time off. Mike works for Iron Mountain.
Let me interrupt it. Do you leave the bone in?
Only if they ask. But all seriousness, Mike's a scientist. He runs his own department at a pharmaceutical company, so he can kind of give himself off. He's good. Let me ask the boss, And Mike drives a truck for Iron Mountain. Paul's a painter. Tom, I don't know what he does. Something for CBS. I don't know, but yeah, we've all been able to get off when we need to.
That's cool.
It's been cool. Pretty. It's it's a little tough, but so far so good.
Cool. That's cool. Joey Knight, take it away.
Joey Knight.
Well, what would you like? Are we doing news now?
Do you want to do news?
Ooh, I could be like Robin Quivers.
Yeah. You can play the Robin. That's right.
Nice. Okay, let's move into something.
Nice. See, you do. Hey,
okay,
let me explain.
Are we doing our advertisement?
Yeah, Joey does. Just so you'll know, Steven, Joey is an unofficial spokesperson for Death Wish Coffee.
Excellent.
Like
very unofficial.
He's whoring himself out to Death Wish. But the man's not getting anything for it yet. So I'm trying to get Death Wish to at least give him a thank you. This dude pushes Valhalla coffee like it's crack, man.
That's fantastic. I should be a spokesman for Monster Energy drinks myself.
Yeah,
but,
see?
Right? Exactly. You know where I'm coming from, dude. You know where I'm coming from. All right, let's do some quick news here. On the news, where's my news stuff? Oh, here we go.
Rex
All right.
fired. No.
All right, so this past weekend, I think you're going to kind of like this one, Brewster.
Okay.
A crew member was electrocuted over the weekend while de-rigging a set on the Motley Crue movie, The Dirt.
Yes. Yeah, I heard about this, man. Getting pretty dangerous on the set. Getting pretty dangerous on the set of a movie about one of the most dangerous bands in rock and roll, which Ozzy took out.
Yeah, exactly.
Ozzy takes him out.
Ants with Nicky
snorting
Sett, right?
ants. Snorting ants. That's
I was
disgusting.
asked to do that.
Snorting ants and licking up pee, wasn't it? That was disgusting, dude.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah, that's some nasty shit.
Did the guy die?
No.
No. He's in the hospital. Everything's cool, but it just goes to show where this movie is heading, just like this particular interview.
We're going off the rails, man. We're going off the rails.
Going off the rail. Oh, here we go. So, yeah, the movie's going to air on Netflix once it's done, once they're able to keep everybody alive enough to get this movie done.
Clear.
Another piece of news here. Steven, do you remember a group called Angel back in the 70s?
No. I was born in '68, so I may have been in Catholic school and being beaten by nuns.
All right, so back in the late '70s, mid to late '70s, there was a group called Angel, and the guys all dressed in white, and it was so bright on their stage. Greg Giuffria was the keyboard player.
Oh, nice.
Punky Meadows was the guitar player. Frank Domino. Anyway, long story short, Punky Meadows and Frank Domino from Angel are reuniting to go out and play Angel music. So
Okay,
that's kind of interesting.
It is kind of interesting, but I don't see this. This is gonna have to be bars, right?
Are they big angels now?
Yeah. Have they blown up to big fat
Big
angels, or are
bald
they still
angels?
small angels?
They're cherubs now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't see. I honestly don't see this. I don't see this like taking off, dude. Unless it's in a bar.
I don't believe they're doing like road stuff. I think they're just doing like a few shows here and there, just to like get the music out there again. See if there's any interest in it. See if they can possibly maybe do another album. Who knows? Maybe they'll reunite Greg Giuffria back in there and do like a bigger show in Vegas or something like that, right?
I mean, it could be.
I saw Giuffria opened up for Deep Purple in '84, and
nice.
Blackmore kicked him off the tour for having Greg Goldie for having a really awesome guitar solo, and and kicked him off the tour.
Dude, don't you love the fact? Don't you love the fact that rock stars don't have egos, man?
We're all humble.
We're very, very humble individuals.
Also, I wanted to ask Steven, what do you think about Ozzy calling it quits unofficially, but not? But yeah, he is, but he's not. What do you think about this? No More Tours Part 2.
I saw his farewell tour in the '90s, also.
Yeah.
But I think it's fantastic for my business.
Yeah, man. Okay, see, that's true, man. You can look. I've seen Ozzy. I don't even know how many times. I've seen Ozzy by himself. I've seen Ozzy with Sabbath, and the last few times that I saw him, and come on, man, the guy's pushing 70 something, maybe
68 years old.
Okay, he's 68. All right, so you have to give the guy some credit, man. But by the last 3 songs, each time I've seen him, the last 3 songs, his voice is just gone. You know what I mean? And that's one of those things where I'm like, I'm going to do my best to get out on this tour, to see this tour when it comes around. But at the same time, I'm not expecting, a great vocal delivery, man, because he's been through some stuff, man. But again, I have to go see it because it's Ozzy, man. You know what I mean? This Ozzy to me is going to be one of, he's one of the greatest vocalists for me in history. Some people say he's not that great of a singer, but I think he is. I think his voice is
singing it. It's tough, man.
Yeah,
It's hard.
this guy's voice is so unique. He's one of the unique ones, and seeing how, just watching him, because Joey and I talk about this sometimes. We talk about watching our heroes start to retire. It's hard for us, man, because you expect your heroes to stay the same age, man. You know what I mean? And keep putting out great albums.
Like
But
Weekend at Ozzy's. Sharon will trot him out. But it's like Ozzy's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Really.
Yeah.
I've seen him great, and I've seen him having a drunk off with Jake E. Lee on the Shot in the Dark tour twice. Queensryche opened up, and Metallica with Cliff opened up, and those bands smoked him. No offense, but those Ozzy and Jake were like hammered. It was.
Yeah, and see, I never thought Jakey was into that stuff, man. That's funny. I never thought Jake
outing him as an alcoholic. He was going to play with this Red Dragon cartel in Delaware, and people were saying he got the Irish flu and canceled. I don't know.
What that brings me to another thing, man. What out of all of Ozzy's solo material, do you have a favorite of his guitarist?
Randy Rhoads is a beast.
Yeah.
Absolute beast. I get blown away, and to have a kid in my band that can cop that stuff and channel Randy is unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, he's incredible at what he does.
I do like Ultimate Sin a lot, though. That's a really cool record.
Oh, of course, yeah.
In my opinion,
I think that's an underrated record.
Absolutely.
People gave Ozzy shit for that because he kind of went into the glam thing, with the stage clothes and his hair and shit.
He looked a lot like Bette Midler, but so what?
He did. But let me tell you, he wore his sequin robe really well. He wore it well.
It was raiding Helen Roper's closet for that one.
Yeah, man.
Helen Roper.
Dude, man, what a reference, man. Dropping in the Three's Company.
Wow.
Yeah. That album with Jake, man, with the Ultimate Sin, man. Again, a lot of people discredit it and say whatever, but I think it's one of his strongest records.
I love it.
Yeah.
Better than Bark at the Moon. Bark at the Moon got two songs I could use: Rock and Roll Rebel and Bark at the Moon.
Yeah.
Man,
Bark at the Moon.
Album,
Bark at the Moon didn't have a lot of ear-catching fire to it, but it still has its place, man. But it's not as good as
a great song. But that record overall,
it went a little bit off the rails. No pun intended.
Back to the news, Joe.
Back to the news. All right, so
this is turning out to be a real bloodbath in paradise, man.
Wah, 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 wah. All right. Here.
Don't make me cry, Joey, because I have no more tears.
Oh. Lightning may strike again. Come on, Joe.
Oh. All right.
Hey, tell you what, I'm going to go get another cup of coffee. You guys just go ahead and continue, all right?
It's the Joe Show. It's Joe's Corner featuring Joe. Special guest Joe. Go, Joe.
Go ahead, Joe. Yo, Joe.
It is Cup of Joe.
Gosh.
All right, Joey Knight, go ahead.
Hold on.
Joe.
Here we go.
Wow. Oh, look at that. Hey, you know what, Steven? Real quick, you may not know this. Obviously, you don't know this. Joey was in a 80s Christian heavy metal band called Strikin'.
Uh-oh.
STRYKEN. So when you get off here today, when we're done, I want you to Google Joey Knight and Striking.
Okay. And did he have an album called Folgers Under God's Command?
Oh! Look at that one, man! Look at Steven throwing.
I got it. That was awesome. Dude.
That's joke of the day right there, man. Folgers Under God's Command. That is awesome, under man. God's,
I dig that.
You made him speechless, man.
Awesome. All right. Back to the news.
That's right.
All right. So, Friday night, famous. Did you say you're from Illinois?
I lived there for 5.5 years, but I'm from Pennsylvania. But I was born in West Germany. Hello.
Wow, man, that's quite a resume.
Thank you.
All right. So, famous radio rock station WLUP. Signed off Friday night.
The Loop.
For good?
The Loop. For good. They got bought out. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
They got bought by a Christian broadcasting system.
Wow.
Now, for people out there that don't remember who the Loop was, back in the 70s, they're the radio station that headed the big demonstration on the Disco Sucks. Demolition.
Oh, okay.
They're at the baseball field where they brought all the disco records and blew them up.
Nice.
Were they related to WKRP?
Very could well be. Now remember, WKRP are the ones that released the turkeys from the helicopter.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Right. Had nothing to do with the disco. It just had to do with turkeys dying all over the place.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because they thought they could fly. Anyway, so I think this is one you're going to appreciate, Brewster. Okay?
All right. Throw it at me.
The last 3 songs played Friday night as they signed off were Shot at the Devil.
Oh.
Number of the Beast.
Oh.
And Highway to Hell.
Wow! So they went out with an unholy.
So that was I guess their way of poking the eye of the news station.
Yeah, giving the finger to the man.
Three stooged them.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So that was their way of
finger, man.
But here's the interesting take that I heard Eddie Trunk talk about yesterday. Is they're talking about how this is a very famous, well-known rock station and so forth. But Eddie's take was very likely the station itself became a dinosaur where people really didn't care to listen to him much anymore. They just kept playing the same 100 rock songs over and over and over again, where people really they lost interest in the actual station itself. And so that just kind of allowed this other broadcasting system to move in and buy them out.
Right.
Had they stuck with the original formula, like back in the day, what we grew up with, right? With the DJs and playing the stuff that everyone wanted to listen to, they probably would still be around right now.
They went formula.
Yeah.
They went formula. They went commercial is basically what they right?
Well, look, man, even now you're in Philly, right, Steven?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what stations, if you have rock
93.3 WMMR, which is celebrating 50 years, and they're having a pretty nice concert. If it was 10 years ago, it was Alice in Chains and
nice.
Wow. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. They're doing a MMRBQ. They got 50 years in it. They're playing a pretty decent mix. The other station went sports, and the alternative rock station got bought out by a gospel station. It was interesting. They were playing the strike and stuff there. There's not a lot.
And you see, Stephen, that is why I continue receiving big royalty checks and live in the kind of house I live in.
Look at
Just
that.
saying.
The Taj Mahal over there, dude.
Yeah, man. Joey lives in a rich, uppity neighborhood off his striking royalties, man.
Some guy's taking the couch. No, I'm kidding.
I rent the couch out, dude. That's how I make the mortgage every month.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk. Did you bring up the? We didn't talk about Iron Maiden, man. Did we?
No, you didn't bring up Iron Maiden last time.
The Iron Maiden lawsuit. Have you heard about this, Steven?
No. What about it?
Iron Maiden just settled out of court a lawsuit that had to do with "Hallowed Be Thy Name," and this guy claimed that he actually wrote "Hallowed Be Thy Name," that his band. No one knows what the band is because it was obscure, but they must have had enough evidence for the judge to say, yeah, man, you totally ripped this off, man.
Wow.
And they settled out of court. Now, this was, I don't know the difference between the pounds and the dollars, but it was like 900,000 pounds for one.
Wow.
I don't know how much.
It's like time and a half, I think. It's like, I think that's 1.5 million ish. If it depends on the exchange rate.
Yeah, I mean, that's some big money. That's some big money. What are your guys' thoughts on that, man?
What you're saying, Brewster, is that if I can prove that I wrote Soldiers Under Command before Stryper came out with Soldiers Under Command, then I could probably win a lawsuit.
You know, you could if you get the right judge. If you get the right judge,
you can win Brewster's. You can win Brewster's millions.
Yeah. Now, see, that would be my. If I had $300 million, man. I'd be all over that, man. 300.
Live Evil is opening for the Iron Maidens, an all-female Iron Maiden band, I believe on May 9th at the Foundry Music, the Fillmore. Just saying.
Who is?
Oh, the Iron Maiden.
Evil, the Dio.
Oh, okay.
This guy.
Yeah.
Dio open up with the Iron Maidens on May 9th. It's not announced yet, but I'm splashing it here.
All right, cool.
Nice.
Very cool. The Iron Maidens, that's the one that what's-her-face was in before, wasn't it?
I don't...
The chick who went...
Yes!
The chick who went to Alice Cooper.
Really?
Oh!
What's her name?
Yeah. Oh.
Nita Strauss.
She's awesome. I've seen clips of her. She's a beast.
She is beast. Yeah, she was in that band.
Awesome.
She was in that band.
I like the chick Iron Maiden. It takes a Maiden to do Maiden, right?
Yes. It does. Shit, I just got that, man. I just got that. I was a little off for that one, man. You know what? This podcast there's just no rest for the wicked on this podcast, man.
Oh, but
Oh my.
Okay.
Let me just cap off the news here real quick.
Okay,
before,
cap it off.
Let me just cap it off. All right. So on this day, back in 1965, Clapton left the Yardbirds because he said that they were becoming too commercial in their writing.
Well, they were. They were. Yeah.
In 2006, this day, the Sex Pistols refused to attend their induction of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That's okay. They suck.
By posting a letter, because I hate the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but I'm not a Sex Pistols fan, but I'm a fan for what they did by just saying, look, they wrote a handwritten letter that they posted saying that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is basically urine in wine, adding that we're not your monkeys, we're not coming, you're not even paying attention to us, kind of deal. All right. So, but here's the big news of the day.
Big news.
This is Brewster's.
You ready, Steven?
Favorite. This is Brewster's favorite.
Okay, go ahead.
This day in 1988, Rick Astley went to #1 with "Never Gonna Give You Up."
Oh yeah!
Gonna give you up, all right.
Yeah, see, Rick Astley, man. We bring only the finest metal to you on Fresh Roasted Metal.
Rick Astley.
Rick Astley. More like Rick Astley, man.
Two S's in that.
Rick Astley. Okay, so
let me ask you a question.
Let's get to the top 5 Ozzy records. Steven, you're gonna start because you are the special guest.
Am I limited to Ozzy, or does Black Sabbath count.
Look. I will bend the rules. I will bend the rules for you since you are the Oz man. I will bend the rules and say, yeah, you can do Black Sabbath if you wish.
Okay.
Top 5.
Top 5. Blizzard of Oz.
Right on.
Is that your number 5?
Yes.
Okay, that's number 5.
1.
Right.
I'm
All right.
starting in whatever. Best to worst.
Oh, best.
Diary of a Madman.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
I enjoy Masters of Reality.
Okay.
Volume 4 and Black Sabbath.
Okay.
That's mine.
Was that 4?
Nice.
Was that 5 or was that 4?
That was 5.
Okay.
Black Sabbath is a Black Sabbath
All
album.
right. Cool. All right, Joey Knight.
Yes, sir.
What is your top 5 Oz records?
All right. My top 5 are going to be number 5, Bark at the Moon.
Oh, Bark at the Moon.
Bark at the Moon.
Bark at that moon.
All right. Number 4.
Wait. Steven, do the how.
Oh! That's how the crowd do it.
Yeah. What?
That was underwhelming.
Okay, Joey, number 4, man.
All right. Number 4.
Number 4.
Ultimate Sin.
Okay, yes. All right.
Number 3. I'm going to have to put this one down here. The Blizzard of Oz. Number 3.
Oh, wow. That's kind of blasphemous, but go ahead.
No. You'll understand why.
Okay, I'm gonna understand, I guess.
Number 2. No More Tears.
All right. Okay.
Gotta have my Zach man
Zach
in there,
is
dude.
awesome. Zach rocks.
Yeah. And number 1, Diary of a Madman.
Okay. All right. Now, why Diary of a Madman for number 1?
I would have to say Diary of a Madman because that was the first Ozzy album that I actually jumped into in high school. It's the one that I started to hear a lot of the cuts off of there, and
This dude, man, is so fucking awesome, man.
I feel like I'm being interrogated by Ozzy.
That's so cool, dude. Okay,
so that's why I put Diary at number 1. I put Blizzard at number 3 only because I think Zach deserves his due up there with Randy, only because I think Randy shifted everything with his guitar playing. And as much as Jakey Lee did a phenomenal job coming in to fill in the shoes, I think Zach completely shifted it when he came in and did No More Tears. He completely just brought something that just people, their heads snapped when they heard him play.
Yeah, I mean, I think, No Rest for the Wicked was his first album, right? Was Zach's first album. I mean, dude.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I think so. Wasn't No Rest for the Wicked?
Because
Steven?
the first time
I'm going to the judges.
I think, yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's No Risk. Yeah, because didn't No Risk. Wait a minute, which came first?
No More Tears was first.
Okay, so that was Zach's first record. Okay,
yeah,
was No More Tears.
Zach could cop the Randy Rhoads way better than Jake live.
Oh yeah,
and the Sabbath. As a live guy, I've seen Zach a bunch, and he was a beast.
He's incredible, man. He's incredible.
And he would coach Ozzy on the words.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah, that was Ozzy's little what do you call it? The screen that Axl Rose used to use. The little
teleprompter.
Teleprompter. Yeah, he was Ozzy's teleprompter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing about Zach that I love is that not only can he do Randy Rhoads as well as Randy Rhoads, but he brings a completely different feel when he does his stuff.
Oh yeah.
Great slide player.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
And like we were discussing, Joey and I agreed on this. Zach is the last of the great guitar heroes for in our eyes. You know, for that style of music, Zach is the king. He's he's at the top to me, I think.
And he's turned into a Viking.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I would not be surprised if he takes this whole Viking theme to the extreme and kind of does a Viking metal album, man, in the future, man. I could see that happening.
He's a big guy.
Yeah. I
just lost 30 pounds. I know where it went.
Yeah.
From the halls of Valhalla, baby. That's right.
Yep. Get your hormone in, man. Get your hormone in. Okay. All right, so number 5 for me, here we go. Number 5 is going to be Diary of a Madman. Okay?
Diary of Anne Frank?
Yeah. No, that's in a different top 5, man. And then, let's see, I had Diary of a Madman at 5. Ultimate Sin at 4. I love the Ultimate Sin. Like I said, underrated record. There's too many songs on there that didn't get the credit that they deserve. Lightning Strikes was badass. Thank God for the Bomb. All these songs were just great. Everybody got to hear what was the big hit single off that record? Shot in the Dark. Shot in the Dark is a great song, one of the great Ozzy's greatest songs, but it got so much more attention, because it was the first big single, than a lot of that record did, man.
Secret Loser.
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. It's Ultimate Sin, the title track, man. The Ultimate Sin, all of those songs, dude. So that's gonna
Giants.
Yeah. Killer Giants is just incredible. That's a beast song, man. So that was number 4, which was Ultimate Sin. Number 3 is going to be Bark at the Moon. For me. There you go. Yeah, there we go with the how, right? Number 2 is going to be Blizzard of Oz. That's my number 2. And number 1 is going to be No More Tears, man.
Wow.
No More Tears.
Nice.
Let me tell you something.
Now,
that's a bracket buster there.
It was hard for me to put that record over Blizzard of Oz because it's Blizzard of Oz, dude. It's a great. You can't even debate that that's a great record. But like you were saying, man, that he gets Zach, and then that whole record was just it just punched you right in the face from the very beginning, man. The whole record. The whole record, Mr. Tinker Train, all those great songs, man, just came in with this big punch to the jaw, dude, and it was just like, oh, this is his brand new guitarist, man. This is the guy. This is the new deal, And I'm still glad they're doing it. I'm still glad they're around doing it.
What you have to give Ozzy and Sharon both a lot of credit for is they brought a guy in that had a... What did he say?
Do it, man. Do it, Steven.
Run! Come on, Joe. Back to you, Joe.
I need to come more prepared with a lot more coffee next time we do an interview with this guy.
I'm telling you,
I can't keep up with them.
Steven,
hey, I warned you guys.
Yeah, dude, no, this is so, dude, Steven, we need you to do this with us again, man, because this is so cool, man. You are so freaking badass, dude.
Love you guys.
It's so fun, man.
Absolutely, man.
I want to do before we log off here. What I wanted to do, we're gonna skip the pick of the week. Yeah, we're gonna skip the pick of the weeks, Joey. We'll do that next week. I wanted to do the little segment that we call, Steven. We call it "What the Hell Happened to." Okay.
All right.
So here is this band that I want to go over, and I think it's really funny, and I want to get both of your guys' comments on this after this. Remember the band Kingdom Come?
Yes.
What the hell happened to Kingdom Come? Well, here I'm going to tell you, okay? This is one of the biggest, bands being shit on that I've ever seen in my life. Okay. So when this record came out in 1988, I saw it the night it premiered on Headbangers Ball. That's how old I am. Headbangers Ball premiered "Get It On," which was their big single. Which back in the day, now this is the '80s, so that record went platinum within a few weeks, if I can remember straight. Right?
We all thought it was Led Zeppelin.
Yes, and here's the thing, man. That record took off, flew off the shelves. They were on the Monsters of Rock with Van Halen, right?
Solid. Great show.
Look,
Scorpions, Metallica.
Yes, yes. They were on that huge tour, and then what happens? Here's what happens. Somebody by the name of Jimmy Page says in an interview, basically, that Kingdom Come went past the point of complimenting Led Zeppelin and actually stole their stuff and ripped it off. Now, back in the day, there was no internet, right? There's no internet. You had to go by magazines, and you heard word of mouth. So they got the backlash, right? They got the backlash because people were saying they suck because they're trying to copy Zeppelin, right? So fast forward maybe into the 90s, mid-90s, late 90s, on my good buddy Howard Stern's show, right? They come out and they basically bust Zeppelin for ripping off all the blues guys that they stole, a couple of songs that they lifted.
The Levee Breaks was written in 1929.
Huh?
The Levee Breaks was written in 1929 by a black couple.
There you go, man. And that's what, and they started putting these things together. So it's kind of funny. It's not funny, but it is that, you know, they got Kingdom Come got shit on because let's face it, man. Lenny Wolf, I think his name was.
Yeah.
Great vocalist, dude. This guy had a great set of pipes, and the band as well. You know, if this was today, they'd be blown up. Right?
Yeah, and they had sex with their wives, and they gave birth to Greta Van Fleet.
Yes, hey, you know what? Now look, do you like Greta Van Fleet?
That's love child.
Do you love Greta?
Great too. I love them.
I love Greta Van Fleet, man. I love this band.
After an enema, so that's
There's your answer right there, dude. The answer is this: is that Kingdom Come was way ahead of their time. They came too soon.
Yeah.
Had they come out another 15 years later, maybe, that would have given some separation from Led Zeppelin into a time when people were starting to miss Led Zeppelin.
Right.
And then you hit them between the eyes with a band that comes out sounding reminiscent to Led Zeppelin, and they go, "Oh my gosh, this is awesome." It was too soon.
I mean, and they did go on. They did go on to put out, I think, 13, 14 more records, man. But of course, nobody knew. You know,
holy crap!
The second band, their second album was Face the or Hear Something. I can't remember what the name was, but it flopped. And
and the rest of us.
Yeah, and then they put out 12 more, man, and of course nobody knows it. You know?
Are you serious? They put out that many?
They got about 12, 13 records out. Yeah.
It's like that old saying: if the record's released in the woods and no one's there to buy it, does it? Does it make a sound? I can't hear you.
Oh man, dude!
Got more bombs than Al Qaeda.
Yeah.
Hey.
Shecky Ozzy.
Yeah, man. Hey,
where's my snare drum?
This podcast is probably one of my favorites, man. Thank you, Steven, so much.
Thank you
for doing this. And so, what's the name of your company again that we have to notify to get you guys back here?
FKE. Frank Kell Entertainment.
FKE Entertainment. Because I'm telling you guys, for everybody who's watching, when these guys come to your town, please go see them. You will be, if you love Ozzy, if you love Sabbath, you are doing yourselves a great disservice if you do not go and watch these guys live. It's just an incredible experience, man. So thank you for doing that, man. Thank you for giving us that experience.
We love you all two of you.
Okay. Hey.
Thank you.
Okay. Hey, you know what, Steven? You got before we get off. I want you to do the howl again, dude. Do the howl for me. You ready?
You get any better.
Very
That's what I'm
nice.
talking
Very
about.
nice.
Steven Desko, everybody from the land of Oz. From
Thank
the
you, good
land
night.
of Oz. And we will see you next week on Fresh Roasted Metal. Take it easy. Peace.